Hey guys, it's Ben. Hope your week was fan-flippin-tastic. Mine was amazeballs. Really great. Another week of zero symptoms. I think I finally have broken the code on what was happening with me. I'm going to share that with you later. But for you guys that are just joining me and that don't know maybe, this is a week 19 update. I've been on Mounjaro for 19, going on 20 weeks now. I'll be giving myself a 5 milligram injection of Mounjaro for my week 20 injection here at the end of this video. But let me tell you where this stuff has got me, this Mounjaro. My doctor, 19, 20 weeks ago, something like that approximately, ran a blood panel on me and she came back with, Ben, I'm going to put you on some kind of medication immediately because your A1C is 10.6. Your blood glucose level is 474. Unacceptable. We need to put you on something immediately. Do you want something that you take once weekly or something that you take once daily? And I chose the weekly thing. I didn't know it was an injection because I'm afraid of needles. Turns out I didn't need to be afraid of needles, especially with this Mounjaro. I'm going to show you later just how easy it is and painless too. Let me tell you, 19 weeks ago, 10.6 A1C. 3 weeks ago, after being on this stuff for some amount of weeks, my A1C had dropped from that 10.6 down to that 5.4 that I was at 3 weeks ago. It's probably lower now. I feel like it probably is. My blood glucose level when I first started on Mounjaro was 474, right? My doctor was alarmed by that number. That's a high number. It should be between 90 and 100. That's where it needs to be. That's where my doctor would like me at. But it was 474. This week, my blood sugar average, I take waking blood sugar. My blood sugar after a cup of coffee, my blood sugar average this week, 94.6. Perfect. Right between the 90 and the 100 that my doctor wants me at. I'm loving this stuff. The problem that I'm having right now with Mounjaro is weight loss. I've reached my goal weight pretty much, and I want to start tapering off my weight. I've tried to eat more this week, and I'm hoping that we see not a loss of weight. This is crazy to say, but I want to see just the same weight as I was last week. Give or take a little bit, of course, but I'm trying to level out my weight. I don't want to really lose any more, but I want to keep taking the Mounjaro for my diabetes because it's controlling my blood glucose. Amazing. I wanted to thank you guys for the comments that you've been leaving. A lot of encouraging comments, and I really appreciate it. And a lot of tips, too. I would have never come across my solution for my constipation problem if it hadn't have been for the comments. And I gotta tell you, before I get into this with you guys, don't think that this will work for you. I have found that some things work for some people and some things work for other people. And it's never the same thing, it doesn't seem like. It takes me some experimenting and some trial and error to find something that actually works for me. And I wish I could remember the name of the person that commented a couple of weeks ago telling me to add these coalesced gummies to my diet. 4 a day they recommended. And they said, make sure that you take them with, take your dose of Miralax and then add 4 coalesced gummies throughout the day to that, and your constipation problems should clear up, and they did. Within a matter of 2 or 3 days, I was regular. I was regular again, and not only was I regular, but I wasn't doing any of this loose stool nonsense like I was before. Solid stools, you guys, with the Coalesce and the Miralax, right? It's working for me. If it works for me, it'll probably work for somebody else out there that has these problems. But I'm going to warn you right now, it's probably not going to work for everyone. You're going to have to find your own solution if this doesn't work. And I must say, there's lots of other suggestions out there in my comments about what to do, and I've tried some of them. What worked for me was the combination of the 4 Coalesce gummies every day with the Miralax in the drink at the beginning of the day. That works perfect for me. So, let's talk about what? We can't talk about side effects because I don't have any. Once I control that constipation, I think my nausea, which was my most annoying side effect, the constipation. I don't like being sick in the first place. And in the second place, it kind of immobilizes me. I can't do anything when I'm sick. I just have to lay down and be still, right? That's just the way I am. I just can't function if I'm sick. So the nausea was the most irritating side effect for me. But I found that once I got my constipation under control, that nausea kind of seemed to disappear. Well, once I got my constipation under control and I stopped eating any kind of meal after about 4:30. I try to eat all my meals before 4:30, and I try to not eat anything heavy for dinner. If I'm going to have a heavier meal, I'd rather that be lunch. That seems to be working for me. I don't wake up nauseated anymore at all. Haven't for several weeks now. And I think it's mostly because I've gotten my constipation under control. I'm not getting that backed up feeling that you do when you wake up in the morning and you burp and it's that rotted food because it's not going through your digestive system as quickly as it used to be. It's kind of sitting on top there. That's what it was. Once I changed the way that I was doing stuff with both my eating time and the new Coalase Miralax thing, that all cleared up. I have no side effects as far as nausea. I've got no constipation anymore, none at all this week. And I'm just happy. Everything's going well, right? And I'm the kind of guy that's used to, when things are going well, waiting for something not to go so well, right? Waiting for the other shoe to drop, as some people would put it. But I've been waiting for that for a couple of weeks now, and it hasn't come. So I'm here to report that today, anyway, I am happy. I've solved my constipation problem, and I am no longer suffering from side effects from Mounjaro. And I don't know if that was me, or if that's just me getting used to the medication, or me making the changes that I needed to make in order to, facilitate me still taking this drug, in a happy and healthy way. It's still working great for my diabetes, and it's still working great for my weight loss. We're going to find out here in a couple of minutes if I lost any more weight this week. Last week, you'll remember, I was at 154, and this week, who knows? I feel like this is the third week in a row that I've said this, but I really mean it this week. I feel like I might be able to tell you that I've gained some weight this week, right? I might have put some weight on. I ate more than I normally do, is what I'm trying to say. I ate more, right? I ate same portion amount, but I ate more portions, if that makes any sense. So instead of eating only once a day, some days I was eating 2 and sometimes 3 days, but these aren't big meals. These are small things. Like, instead of the changes that I have found myself making, only because I can't eat like I used to, is instead of having 2 eggs, and a couple of pieces of bacon for breakfast, I'll have 1 egg, 2 pieces of bacon, sometimes 3. Come on, it's bacon, right? You can't scrimp on the bacon. You got to have the bacon, you guys. But the egg, I've found myself going down to 1 egg. And I've found myself being happy with smaller portions, right? I always feel better after I'm done eating and it's a smaller portion. I don't know if this is psychological or what, but my mental being and my physical being are both in a better place when I eat lighter meals more frequently throughout the day. So it's like I've been saying for the last 2 weeks, I'm kind of within my goal weight, right, area. I'm between 150 and 160, and my goal weight was between 150 and 160. So I'm there right now. My fear at the moment is I need to stop this weight loss, right? Because I don't want to go below 150. 150 is the lowest that I want to go. Last week it was 154. We're going to take my weight right now and we're going to see where we're at before we continue to talk about this, because I've got a game plan for each contingency as far as if I haven't lost any weight or if I have lost more weight. I've got a contingency for both of those, and they involve food, which is one of my favorite subjects. Just because I'm losing weight doesn't mean I don't love food. I still do. It's just that I eat far less of it, right? And by eating far less of it, I seem to be far happier. Let's find out where I am weight-wise so we can make plans on how we're going to progress into the future, right? I need to maintain the weight, or I need to gain weight, or I need to not lose weight anymore somehow. Let's find out. All right, here we go, you guys. Let's find out where we're at on the week 19 update. Ooh, it looks like I did gain some weight. I'm at 159.6, so I have gained weight. All right, y'all. Week 19 update. I'm at 159.6. I've gained weight this week. That's about 5.5 pound gain. That's a little bit more than I thought. And I'm going to need to concentrate on not eating as much as I did this week. I ate as much as I did this week because I didn't want to lose anymore, and I was afraid of that. I gained weight. So now we need to pare it back a little bit. It's going to be a balancing act, you guys. I got to figure out where that sweet spot is, right? And the problem is every week it's different food, so you never getting the same exact, calorie intake as you're getting. I mean, I guess I could be boring and do that, but I like food too much. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut back on our portions a little bit more. I want to keep eating the same frequency of meals. I think that's a good place for me. I just need to cut back a little bit on the portion size. I did purposely take larger portions this week because I didn't want to lose weight this week, and as it turns out, I didn't. I also didn't want to put on however many pounds I put on this week, but I did do that. So the balancing act begins. This week I'm going to cut back a little bit on portion sizes. I'm not going to cut back on portions. That's how we're going to start out, and we're going to get it under control. I've been monitoring my food very closely. Some of the changes that I've made, lifestyle changes that I've made to get to this point, and some of them are really important. I've changed the way that I eat. And I think that not just in what I eat, but in the way that I eat as well. I don't look forward so much to meals. When we plan our trips, like in our RV and stuff, our first trip, we went up to pick up our RV in Indiana. And when we were coming back, if this would have occurred 2 years ago, the whole trip would have been planned around restaurants that we were going to eat at, or everything involved food, really. Now I'm finding that almost nothing involves food, right? I still love food, don't get me wrong. It's just that I don't live my life around it, right? It's crazy the way that your thinking changes, but it doesn't happen on its own. You have to change it, right? So that's one thing that I've done. I've changed the way that I think about food. I know that I need to eat far less of it. I know that I don't need to be eating processed food as much as possible. I try to not eat any processed food for the most part. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. Sometimes we treat ourselves, right? We're human, and we should reward ourselves as long as you don't overdo it. See, this is a problem that I used to have. I used to reward myself and say, well, if rewarding myself that much one time was good enough, then, just a little bit more won't be that hurtful, right? I have just changed the entire way that I think about food, is the bottom line, right? This Mounjaro makes it way easier to control my impulses. In fact, makes it possible. I'm not going to tell you that it was impossible before, but it wasn't happening. I tried my best, and I wasn't able to control. So the Mounjaro has been a game changer for me, and I appreciate it. Hopefully I can start doing this stuff on my own through diet and exercise, but I'm not quite ready for that yet, I don't think. I want to get to the point where I figured out where I can keep how much I need to eat to keep my weight between 150 and 160. I'm at the top of that spectrum right now at 159.6. So we need to cut it back a little bit this week. Anyway, guys, I'm going to show you my stomach. I know you haven't seen it in a couple of weeks. For some of you people, it's going to be the grossest thing you've ever seen, right? For me, it's amazing. I cannot look in the mirror and recognize my stomach as my stomach, right? When I look in the mirror, the first thing I see is a big fat stomach. I know that that's not the case anymore. Am I perfect? No, it never will be perfect. But when I look in the mirror, I just can't believe what I'm seeing. I'm going to give my injection, and I'm going to share my stomach with you guys. And you guys be the judge. This stuff really works. But a lot of stuff has been going on. I can't wait to share it with you in the next video. I'm on a time crunch for this one. I'm gonna go ahead and inject myself now with the 5 milligram dose of Mounjaro. And I'm gonna go in the right side of my stomach. I told you guys I was gonna show you my stomach. And this is what my stomach looks like at 159.6 pounds. Things have really changed a lot. My wife was saying, is that a muscle on the side? And it is a muscle. Oh my God, there's a muscle down there. Would you look at that? But look guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, I got some maintenance to do. Look at this. This is ugly, right? I need to somehow figure out how to firm this up. I'm gonna start doing some research. I've already started doing crunches and stuff. I don't wanna have to keep my underwears up to hide that stuff, but I will if I have to. And if I can't make that go away, that's okay. I'm much healthier at this weight than I was at the weight that was expanding this out to where it became this way, right? All wore out and stuff, terrible. Anyway, you guys, here we go. 5 milligrams of Mounjaro. The first thing I need to do is clean the area with an alcohol swab, so I've got to grab one of them. I don't want to do stuff wrong because people have a tendency of calling me out in the comments, you know what I mean? If I do something wrong, they'll tell me I've done something wrong. So you clean the area. The only restriction to injecting in your belly is 2 inches away from your belly button, right? So I like to go at least 2 inches away, and I like to inject in a fatter area, right? That used to be everywhere, but now it's mostly down here in the bottom part. This is the last part to go away. This top part, it used to be out like this, you guys. I mean, I'm not even exaggerating. It used to be, it was crazy. Let's put it that way. Anyway, let's get on with the injection. I'm feeling much better about my body, and I'm looking forward to the summer, this summer, where I can actually take off my shirt at a pool and not feel embarrassing. Not feel that sense of embarrassment that you do. Anyway. Here you go. So we're gonna go on the right-hand side this time, right in this big fatty area right here. You don't need to push it too hard up against your skin, just nice and firmly, right? So it makes a little bit of an indent though. You want that needle getting in there for sure. You don't wanna waste this stuff because this can be expensive depending on what kind of insurance plan you have. We've talked about that in previous videos. Now, on the pen here, there's a lock and an unlock icon. You wanna switch it over to the unlock icon, that arms it. When I hit this purple button, you're gonna hear a click, followed by a second click a couple seconds later, microseconds later maybe. But if you're watching closely enough, you'll see this plunger go in. When you see the plunger all the way at the end of the thing, that means the injection's complete. And also you can tell that after the second click, because that's what's happening. When it gets to the end, it makes that second click. Anyway, here we go. Week 20 injection, the week 20 update coming next Thursday. 5 milligrams of Mounjaro in the right side of my fatty belly. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. First click, second click. You can see the gray plunger. That means that it's done its job and it's done. I can take it out now. We've got some catching up to do about some stuff. And it's not Mounjaro related, it's just life in general. And I'm gonna start introducing some of that stuff that's affecting me in my life coming up in future videos. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. If you're not, then we'll see you later. I understand. Nobody wants to hear about that stuff. And I'm also gonna be incorporating, I'm gonna be showing you how I'm gonna be managing both my weight and my diabetes now that I've made my goal weight. It's going to be a balancing act, as we've seen. 5-pound weight loss followed by a 5-pound weight gain this week. Not good, but not unexpected. We just have to get used to it, right? We just have to learn to walk that tightrope. We'll see you next Thursday. In the meantime, if you have any questions for me, leave them in the comments below. I love to answer your question, and I know that you may have some for me. It doesn't have to be Mounjaro related. Let's get to know each other. We'll talk to you later.